Welcome, everybody, to Growing Smart, the Stronghold podcast. I'm your host, Thom, and today we're going to talk about 3 easy keys, I don't know what else to call it, 3 simple steps, 3 must-dos, 3 somethings that are going to help you be tremendously more productive and have a sense of control over your day. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first hack, if you will, this would be 3 hacks to a more productive day. There, now I've got the title halfway into the podcast. The first hack for being more productive in your day is really simple. Go to bed on time. So most successful people, you read this probably 1,000 times before, get up at a early time to make sure they get the important things done, to get them kind of ramped up for a productive day. So for example, many successful people I've coached get up around 4:30 in the morning. And a lot of them get up at 5 in the morning, and they spend that first, say 30, 45 minutes doing some sort of exercise, maybe some sort of meditation, or maybe if they're Christian, perhaps they're reading their Bible and praying in the morning. Very, very common things you hear from people is that they have a morning routine, and the more successful people that I coach, the more I see that it's actually quite a long routine in the morning. They devote a lot of time to exercise and getting their mind right, reading. Very few of them, at least the ones that have a lot of peace and less anxiety, wake up and turn on the news, to be honest with you. Most of them get up before everyone else, and they are almost always engaged in some sort of exercise and some sort of positive activities, just prayer or reading or something, taking a walk. A very common one I hear, I take a long walk. I'm talking, 15, 20 minutes of walking outside to kind of greet the day. So very typical morning, and then having time to sit down and either have a breakfast or kind of go through emails and get caught up before the day officially begins. It really gives you a jump on the day. The early bird gets the worm is really a pretty reliable saying. But the catch is not really getting up at 4:30 in the morning. So the catch is going to bed on time. Because getting up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning and having this wonderful routine is actually pretty damaging if you're only getting a few hours of sleep every night. Now, there are some people out there who are genetically just able to survive and actually excel with a little bit of sleep. I've met them. I envy that. It's not me. It's not most people I come across. You really do need sleep to be at your best and to be at your mental best. You might not need a lot of sleep physically to recover, depending on age and things like that, but you really do need time for your brain. So the challenge in that is just getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock and pushing through it may make the morning productive, but by 3 o'clock, if you're completely out of gas, what was the point? You're losing steam from all that you had made up in the morning. So my point is this: know how much sleep you need. Have that morning routine. But the most important thing, the life hack here, is going to bed on time. So if you're a 5 a.m. person and 7 hours of sleep makes you pretty much 100% mentally, then you've got to go to bed at 10 p.m. So the anchor point is that 10 p.m. bedtime. It has to be the must do. Instead of fighting to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to have this routine over and over and over again, fight to go to bed at 10 p.m. That's number one. The number 2 hack is to have a dashboard. This is what I mean by a dashboard. We have so much stuff going on in our head at all times, so many goals, so many priorities that we're trying to focus on, and it's just every day can become kind of like a treadmill. So what I keep is on Excel, I make an Excel one. You can use whatever tool you want, but I make kind of I call it my life board. It's a dashboard for my life. So over on the left-hand side, I've got all of my priorities ranked out. So if you went through I think this is in prior podcasts. If not, it's in the upcoming time management podcast. I go through the 7 priorities of life, kind of rank my top priorities. So it's things like spiritual, family, health, work. I list out the priorities on the left, the things that are most important to me to keep that focus. And then next to that, I put a ranking of how well I'm actually doing on it. So I've got all the priorities ranked, and then next to that I'll put, so if spiritual is number 1 and family is number 2, then if I've been focusing on family above spiritual, then I'll put, it should be and is, I'll rank those. So if, maybe family is number 1. And so that allows me to see if my priorities are in order. Then I've got a little bit of a financial dashboard. It kind of runs across the top. Basically it's money in the bank, money coming in, money going out. So kind of a little cash flow calculator there to see what's going on. Then I have a list of my most important habits. I call it the MIH, most important habits. So there are certain habits that must be done, such as exercise, diet, reading, date night with my wife. There are just these most important habits, and I've got them listed right there in the center, and then the DDT next to it, the day, date, time of that's next going to be done. Then I don't use my dashboard as a to-do list. I have a separate to-do list, but I'll also have on my dashboard upcoming important events. So I got kind of a list of upcoming important events that are also on my calendar, but it's just stuff to keep in mind. So it's, for example, Christmas is coming up soon, so I have Christmas on there and a number of days away that it is, so that it doesn't creep up on me. So something like this, you could have, you could use the same thing, not just for life, but for business. But I have a dashboard of basically everything that really is most important to me, that I need to be keeping aware of. And I kind of look at my dashboard as I plan my day, and then I can go through my calendar, my to-do list, and just kind of make sure everything is trending healthier. That's the important thing. It's just keeping me very accountable to the most important things in my life. So having some sort of dashboard, you'll have to create your own here. I can't take the whole podcast to help you create one. I've given you some ideas of mine, but you really have to come up with your own dashboard for success. The catch is these are things that are already in your head, but we don't want them to be in your head. We want them to be in front of you, again, as a dashboard. I generally know how fast I'm going, but I like to look down and see, okay, I'm going 60 miles an hour. I know I've probably got enough fuel in the tank, but I like to look down and see, okay, I've got a half a tank. A dashboard is very, very helpful to keep us on track, on a pace. It acts as a bit of a life GPS. So take the most important things in your life, you put them on a one-page spreadsheet. You actually kind of create it in an Excel spreadsheet to look like a dashboard, and that will give you a sense of control. And I'm telling you right now, it's amazing how powerful this tool is for keeping you on track. 60 days can get away from you without a workout. Christmas can jump up on you, and next thing you know, you've got 3 weeks, and you've only got 3 weekends to prepare. And these things happen. We know what that's like in life, and that's constantly throwing us off course. And I have found that the dashboard, combined with getting up early enough because I went to bed on time, really is the best thing for keeping me on track. All right, the third life hack that is absolutely critical is what I call the closing the laptop hack. It's how you end your day. Your work day. So not so much how you end your day at night. As long as you go to bed at that time you've set, I'm not worried about how, if you read a book or not at night or what you do. But when you end your work day, that really needs to be habitual. So basically, don't go home with work still in your head. Allow yourself rest. This is just so key to so many people I've coached. This one little thing has been very transformational for many people. All you have to do, whether it's in your car before you walk into the house, or whether it's in your office before you leave, and in the office is the way I prefer it, you take about 30 minutes and you run through your emails. It's really simple. You just run through your emails. You quickly answer the most important ones. Some that have been sitting there for a while you haven't answered, you just send a quick email. I've received this. I'll respond very soon. I'll respond tomorrow. But basically, you get all your emails within 48 hours. So everything that's been within 48 hours gets a response. So 30 minutes to an hour, you want to make sure you get that done. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to look at your calendar for tomorrow up close, and then you're just going to take a quick glance at the rest of the week and just remind yourself what you got coming up. You're going to check your to-do list to make sure everything's in there. So nothing stays in your head. That's the important thing. Emails up to date, calendar up to date, to-dos up to date. Not that I've done them all, but they're all logged, ready to go. I've reviewed them. And then I look at my calendar. Do I have enough administrative time? I don't want to be worried or anxious or rushed to get stuff done. So if I need to put an admin block on my calendar, if I got to have an early day or a late day working one day this week to get caught up, then I put that on my calendar. But the point is to be proactive, to see where I'm at the end of the day, what I got to do, and put it all on my to-do list, on my calendar, or through my email. Make sure I'm caught up. Now, again, it doesn't mean I've gotten everything done, but I've made provision, I've made opportunity to get the stuff done. So if I've got just a ton of emails to go through, and I don't know when I'm going to get through it, then I'm going to put an hour email block or 2 hour email block on my calendar, say for the next day or something like that, so that I know I can let go of this mentally and it's on autopilot to continue. That's the most important thing. So then I close the laptop. It's kind of an OCD habit of mine, right? Close the computer or shut the computer down, look around the office, and I literally say to myself, my work for today is done. Everything I need to do is planned for. I can go home now and be a husband and father. Or you might say, I can go home now and rest. Literally leaving all the mess in the barn, not just shutting it off apathetically, but knowing this has been planned for. Extremely helpful if you're someone who continues to work subconsciously at night. All right, guys, these things should help you be present. These things should help you be consistent. So simple. These little anchor points, these little life hacks. Hopefully you found one that's helpful to you. Until next time, this has been Growing Smart, the Stronghold Podcast.